This is my turtle tank. This video is not so much about keeping a turtle or really anything like that, but it's going to focus just on the plumbing of this tank. So we'll start with this white pipe where you see the water is dropping at, well, at least 1/4 of an inch into that white pipe where it then heads into the filter. And by doing that, if I can get a good angle here, what it's doing is it's continuously skimming the surface of the water, which removes any oily residue, because the crocodile food that I give this turtle is rather oily and it's difficult to deal with otherwise. So the water drops down this white pipe and it comes out under the tank here through this 1-inch PVC, and this is all threaded connections because I didn't really want solvent where the water is recirculating, just because the turtle has to live in it. So the water comes along here first. It goes from 1 inch to 1.5 inches for a foot, which is hoping to slow the water flow down and allow the air bubbles to rise up where they would get caught in this air vent, this float vent. I haven't really observed a lot of air coming out of there, however. So it continues, the water continues on, and it goes up this pipe. It comes along here, and it goes into this FX6 filter. And it comes out the back of the filter here. There's another air vent, which I will probably eliminate, and instead of having this drop in the pipe, I would probably just have it continue on level, but the manufacturer makes the outlet at an angle, so I tried this, and a lot of air gets trapped here. In that vent, I've tried a few vents, and they just don't open. But anyways, so air gets trapped there, and I shut the filter off and then turn it back on, and it blows it out the line. As the water continues on, it comes out that, my hand's messing with the focus, that black nozzle right there is where the water returns to the tank. And so that's the course that it runs during normal filtration. Now, as I said, I didn't want to use any solvent, but this white pipe is just slip fitted on, which allows me to remove it. If I want to draw the tank down and completely drain it, I can get it down to within 1 inch to where that reducer is. And then this pipe is just a series of reducers. I'm spilling water on the floor as I do it. It's just a series of reducers. And it's handy to be able to remove that. Let's see if I can do this on camera. There we go. And another major thing about that, because I could have done threaded connections and still unscrewed it when I needed to, but this is a snapping turtle, and they are like little bulldozers, and they push on everything. So I would rather have it where when he pushes on it, it just pops loose. And sometimes I come in and it's, been knocked loose, and that's fine because the filter still keeps working. You see how the water level hasn't reached equilibrium yet here. But so when I want to change his water, what I do, I'm gonna switch hands here because I am right-handed. So when I want to change his water, I open this drain valve and I unplug the filter. Just heard a little air coming out that vent. Now, the water is dropping inside that pipe, and it would continue to drop. At the moment, water is going both ways. Sorry for the camera work if it's too much movement. Water is going down that white pipe, and it's also back flushing through that black nozzle, back flushing the filter, and then back out and into the drain, which goes out to the basement. if I don't want to back flush, I can shut that valve that's right there, and now I'm only letting water go down that white pipe. So I come over here, there he is peeking out. I put this is 1/2 inch PEX. I just put that bend in it to help it kind of hook the tank. And what I would do, I would open this valve back here. Now, I have the drain open, right? So water can go down into the sewer. And this blue pipe is putting out, it's a 1/2 inch pipe. It's putting out household pressure right into the tank. And even if you watch, it's pretty powerful. I'm blasting the sand off of that rock right now, and then, sorry for the finger in the camera. It's a pretty strong flow. And I would generally do that for 5 minutes each time I change the water, which is about 1/6 of the water volume. I set a timer, and then after 5 minutes, I close this valve and I count to almost 8, and I shut the valve off. What that does is it gives enough time for the white pipe to refill to bring the water level back up to where it's going to overflow just right. But what I'll do is, for the camera, I'll shut this off, count to 7, and we'll see that it's a little low. So 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000, and that's off. Now everything's stopped. I'm going to plug. Oh, gotta open this valve, or that won't work. I'm going to plug the filter back in. Some air just came out the end there. So as it's going, now wouldn't you know it, I said the water level is going to be a little low, and it didn't end up being low, but it's actually pretty well perfect. But anyways, I make fine adjustments after counting to 7 or 8. I make fine adjustments to the water level to get it just where I want it. So the only other real thing to talk about here is, why did I use a 4-inch pipe just to reduce it down to 1 inch? And that's because the ratio of the diameter of the white pipe to the surface of the whole body of water is what determines how sensitive the water level is inside that pipe. Now, so the filter, it automatically shuts off. When you first plug it in, it shuts off for 2 minutes. I mean, it runs for briefly, shuts off for 2 minutes to allow air to rise, and then it'll come back on in 2 minutes. And the purpose of that is to let any trapped air in the filter rise up and come back out. And it'll do that again. I'm not sure if it's at 12-hour intervals or 24, but at least once a day it'll shut itself off and let the air rise up and then start again. But as I was saying, I've tried many sizes of pipe here. I think I started with 1.5 inches, and just for fun I tried going smaller to just a 3/4 inch pipe right there, and that was crazy. You could add a couple of drops of water and it would go from being too low to too high. So when it's too low, the water drops down that pipe and it really entrains a lot of air, which brings more air into my filter, which I don't want. And if it's too high, the water won't drop into the pipe at all. If the pipe's way below the water surface, it just the oil would not get sucked down in. So yeah, I tried 1.5 inches, I tried 2 inch, and I finally said, let's just go for 4 and see how that works. And I like 4. The 4-inch pipe seems to be just about right. It's not so sensitive that after a day of evaporation I come to find it really low, or that I have to struggle to get it just right. But if I had a much bigger tank, which I think I will, you know, I will upgrade him to a bigger tank, then I would probably need a larger filter pipe. But anyways, I'm not gonna answer that phone. That's my little setup. Okay, there we go. I don't think that was 2 minutes, but filter just started back up. And that's my tank. I hope you enjoyed my discussion on it.